morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, we're going to talk about a very serious matter. Today, we're going to talk about pre-tripping. A lot of people have adopted the practice of do the typical driver thing. In the morning, I'm sure everybody's in a hurry. I get in a hurry, you get in a hurry. Everybody's in a hurry in trucking. So what you'll typically see, you'll see guys, they'll run to the truck, open the door, jump in, fire the truck up, let it warm up for a couple of minutes, sip on the coffee, and then put it in gear, pull the brakes, and take off. No pre-trip at all. And one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to get in the habit of just taking off in the truck without pre-tripping. A number of things can go wrong. First off, there could be something seriously mechanically wrong with that truck. You just taking off will only make the problem worse, because you could have very well prevented a problem that could have been fixed right there in the yard, by pre-tripping the truck. Nothing draws the anger of management more than having to send out a mechanic to go fix a truck that left their yard, that it could have been prevented with a pre-trip. So if you don't want to get in the crosshairs of the management, you want to get into the habit of pre-tripping the truck. Alright, I guess you guys noticed today, I got new glasses. These are what they call stunner shades in the hood. And also got a new camera. Pretty little thing I picked up on Amazon for a fairly decent price. I'm gonna take you guys down to the truck, and I'm gonna demonstrate a quick little pre-trip, one that I've perfected over 15-20 year period. It's worked for me. It's gotten me out of a lot of trouble. Kept me out of a lot of trouble also. Sometimes you don't do a pre-trip. You get about 50 to 100 miles outside the city where there's nothing out there, and hey, you find out there was not enough oil, there was not enough water in that truck to begin with. You're gonna find yourself in a sticky situation, man. Or you don't even have to get that far away from the terminal. You can get on the freeway, and some of these freeways are 8 lanes wide. You're in the middle lane trying to get over. There might be a little transitioning from one freeway to another. You're in the middle lane, and the truck conks out on you in the middle of the highway. You're not getting out of that truck, okay? And tow bills. I mean, the first thing you're going to incur is an astronomical tow bill. I've seen them start at $500, and they go up from there. I'm going to show you a quick pre-trip. You don't have to follow exactly what you have to do. It's a basic pre-trip, and it's a basic pre-trip that I do every day. Every time I step in the truck, even when I do an overnighter, when I get up in the morning, I'm at a Pilot or whatever, Flying J, I get out and I do this same pre-trip before I take off, whether I'm in the yard or not. You don't have to do a pre-trip you have to do a pre-trip in front of the boss to show them that you're, up on it. Just do it for you. Make the trip a lot more efficient and keep you safe out there on the road. All right, now, you guys, let's go do this pre-trip. So now, we're in a truck. So first thing you want to do, you want to turn the ignition on. Make sure everything is working. Make sure all the dials are working. And also, back in the good old days, we had to turn the ignition on and wait for like a minute, and that lets the oil pressure build up. Get all the fluids kind of circulating. Today's trucks, you don't have to do all that, but it's good practice to do it anyway. So what we first want to do, we want to cut that ignition on and wait for everything to kind of circulate, or oscillate, or whatever the dials do. Alright, next thing you want to do, you want to step out of the truck. Don't forget your safety vest, good pair of gloves. You want to check those cold air return hoses. And you want to check your steering linkage. Make sure your steering wheel is actually is connected to your steering linkage. Check your power steering fluid. Make sure the cap is tight. Check your various hoses that you'll see, around your engine. Make sure they're connected and not leaking. Check your drag link. Check the slack adjuster also. Give it a nice little pull. I'm gonna go around to the other side. Do the same. You wanna, check your tread depth on your tires and check your lug nuts for tightness. You wanna do this on all your wheels. Check your hoses again. Try to take a look at every hose that you can see. Always spin the fan real quick. Check your belts and make sure they're actually attached, not frayed or damaged or loose. Give them a good tug. Check those cold air returns. This could actually stop your truck if they're damaged. Check your oil filler. Make sure it's tight. Check your oil level. Make sure you got some oil in that engine. Check your fluid levels. This will also stop your truck if it's not, if it's not at the proper level. You want to visually check your fuel. I really don't rely on gauges, even on the brand new trucks. I never rely on that gauge. I want to look inside that tank. And check your airlines. Make sure they're securely fastened to both the truck and the trailer, and check them for damage. At this point, you want to turn on all your lights, indicator, and your signal lights, turn signals. Give them a quick little, check. Let's push this hood down. Check your headlights and your turn signals, and also your clearance lights up top. You want to make sure they're working properly. Check your tires on the tractor. Give them a good hard thump, and check the tread depth. Also check the lug nuts. I didn't do it on that one, but you get the idea. And make sure your landing gear up, and make sure your handle is stowed away. Check your turn signal, middle of the trailer. There you go. Check the tires again. Like I say, I usually check the tread depth. Make sure you got some tread on it, and thump it one good hard time. Make sure I got air in the tire. Very basic stuff. Check your mud flap. Make sure they're attached, and make sure you have 2 mud flaps. And while you're walking up, check the airlines. Make sure they're not dragging on the ground. You also want to take a quick look at your electrical lines also. And see, guys, quick and dirty. 5-minute pre-trip.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive.